Breaking, the reputation of our country is at stake. Atiku reacts to Tinubu's alleged certificate forgery. I know that Atiku has been silent since the day the documents were obtained from Chicago State University, and the whole Nigerians, home and abroad, have been waiting for Atiku to speak. But Atiku has been very smart and intelligent and did not want to speak until the lawyers have finished dissecting and analyzing the document and bringing out the hands and legs and heads and all the discrepancies, and then articulating their document for filing at the Supreme Court. I think today Atiku was scheduled to speak at the World Press Conference, and there people were expecting him to speak as well on this issue of certificate forgery and discovery that has been made at the Chicago State University. Now the press conference is done and Atiku has spoken. So let's dive into the detail of Atiku's statement at the press conference, World Press Conference, with respect to Tinubu's certificate forgery as discovered. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has said that the reputation of the country is at stake. Abubakar made the statement at a World Press Conference on Thursday, October 5, 2023, at the Yaradua Center in Abuja. The press conference was scheduled to address the issue of President Bola Tinubu's academic records, which were released by the Chicago State University earlier this week. The reputation of our country is at stake, Abubakar said in the press conference, and that affects every Nigerian here or wherever he or she is globally. He added that the Constitution prescribes that the requirement for those who seek position in elective offices, and it should not be disrespected by anyone who seeks for such offices. So according to Atiku, elections are the foundations of democracy and the results are not as important as the process, adding that the outcome of the last election has put Nigeria's reputation at global risk. Recall that the records were released by Chicago State University on Monday in compliance with a ruling by Magistrate Jeffrey Gilbert. Tinubu had filed a review of the order, but Federal Judge Nancy Maldonado overruled his objections. So the CSU document affirmed that Tinubu attended the university from August 1977 to June 1979 and was awarded a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with honors on June 22, 1979. However, there are discrepancies in the documents released. Atiku is expected to use the document to further his election appeal at the Supreme Court. He is challenging Tinubu's victory in the February 25, 2023 presidential election on the grounds of electoral fraud. But that is what it is now. So Atiku has made all of that, and I said that those documents that were discovered had a lot of discrepancies in them, and there's obviously a need to make sure that things are put right. Okay, to make sure that things are put right, because the integrity of our nation, the reputation of our nation is at stake abroad. Okay, so the 2022 presidential election, presidential candidate of the PDP and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar addressed the World Press Conference today. Okay, this press conference was held at the Shehu Musa Yaradua Auditorium, Wuse 2, Abuja. Gentlemen of the press, fellow citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I consider it important to address and report to you today on issues that define the future of elective government and legitimate leadership in our country. That is Atiku speaking now. Political leadership and active citizenship matter because they are ways through which we all work together to build a country that works for all who live in it. Our country is bigger than any of us, and its standing in the world affects the fate of all who come from or live in it. As leaders, it is our duty to advance the well-being of all our people and of the country. That's true. Okay, for this purpose, my generations worked hard to return the soldiers to the barracks and to defend the right of the people to elect and establish for ourselves a legitimate government. Our elections are established and governed by law and founded on the constitution, from which leadership and government in Nigeria alone drive their legitimacy. The people look up to us as leaders to respect these rules and where necessary to defend them. This is what brings us here. Today we are called upon again as a people to uphold and defend the ground rules of elective government in our country. The Constitution prescribes the requirement for those who seek the highest elective office in the land. It should not take months or indeed decades for the institution concerned to be able to do their work in establishing the credibility of any certificates presented by candidates for public office. We undertook this journey at great cost and for important reasons. The ground rules for legitimate governance in our country need to be upheld, and the reputation of our country is at stake. That affects everyone, Nigerians everywhere, home and abroad. I am a Democrat by conviction and citizen of a country that I love. The issues at stake in this case require us more to rededicate ourselves to both the country and our constitution. Now we entrust these facts to us all as citizens and as leaders of the institutions charged with interpreting our constitution, which is actually the judiciary. I should thank the lawyers both in Nigeria and in the United States who have assisted us in bringing clarity and definitive answers to these issues that appeared to have defied our institutions for nearly a quarter of a century. I also want to extend my gratitude to Nigerian citizens and friends of Nigeria, both within and beyond the shores of our country, for their patience as we have sought to find the facts and establish the truth. I wish to pay tribute to the late human rights activist Chief Gani Fawehinmi's son, who inspired us on this path of discovery. Now he can truly rest in peace in the assurance that what he started about 23 years ago has come to fruition. Gani's vindication today gives credence to the saying that no matter how fast a lie runs, the truth will someday overtake it. And that's exactly what has happened. So former American President Thomas Jefferson once said, if I had to choose between government without newspapers and newspapers without government, I would hesitate to choose the latter. Okay? From exposing the Watergate scandal and unraveling the dubious certificates of politicians, journalists have maintained eternal vigilance by bringing the gap and by bridging the gap and stepping in when other arms of government failed. That is a good one from Atiku. That's almost like everything, more like the press statement Atiku made today. And somebody's already saying Atiku is a storyteller and a good loser. Okay. And some other person says he's addressing Nigerians as what? Who is he to address Nigerians? Okay, so Atiku is nobody to address Nigerians, but Asari Dokubo was somebody to address Nigerians under the nose of Tinubu, Abi, and you accepted it, and you are happy to say it. And somebody say, Madam Tinubu, how market? Vacate Aso Rock and go back to your drug business, Abi. Not a small Tino. What do you write so? Atiku that was busy making during Abacha era could not have been fighting for democracy. Okay, your WordPress not more than this. So all the noise about WordPress is a fluke. Okay, so all these ones that are saying Atiku is a very decent man compared to Tinubu actually, and actually actually the man is not a rascal. He knows how he articulates himself, how he puts up his case, and he has been able to, for a very large extent, he has been able to say exactly what he's supposed to say. He won't preempt the court, he won't preempt the lawyers. He will say what he's authorized to say and leave the rest for lawyers to handle. So it is obvious from all indications, from all the analysis, and from all we have, Atiku has seen the truth, and he said he will not back down until the case is finished. And he is not going to back down because it's good to have somebody like this because no other person in Nigeria has power to do this. They will just silence you overnight. But Atiku now being a big meat, they can't do him anything. They can't do him anything. That is the truth. They really can't do him anything. So from all the revelations, Atiku lawyers have also revealed that the certificate Tinubu presented was forged, and they have provided the details. Okay, so how do we get to that details? That is a bigger one. But thank you for listening. And let's have your comment on this Atiku's statement that he's determined to make sure that we live a country that is of good value for our younger generation. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.